Hello and welcome, this is Nutri Ingredients USA, I'm Stephen Daniels. Now the human microbiome offers untold possibilities, and one company that's working on this area, one of the few companies working on this area, is Micropharma up in Canada. I'm very pleased to be joined by RJones, who's the CEO of that company. Thanks for joining us, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
So talk to us about what you're doing, how you're looking at the microbiome, how you're approaching this whole situation.
Yeah, good, thanks. Well, Micropharma is completely focused on the science of the microbiome. And as some know and some don't, the President's Office of Technology has made it a 2014 priority to further understand and map the microbiome. And so about $500 million over the last 4 years has been pumped into microbiome research, largely mapping the microbiome, the diversity of organisms in the gut, the metagenome, and also the diversity of genes in the gut. And then they took all that information and essentially dumped it on the internet. And the same is true with MetaHit and a number of other organizations worldwide. And Micropharma is probably one of 6 companies in the world, commercial companies in the world, that's actually creating commercial microbiome commercial products and taking advantage of this, billion or $500 million worth of research.
Okay, so what kind of genes are you looking at specifically?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of academic organizations that are looking at just gene diversity in the Western gut and have found that there's a decreased diversity of organisms, but also a decreased diversity of genes in a Westernized gut, largely due to Western diet and early life issues like antibiotic use, and also the way you were born, C-section, breastfeeding, and so on. And what we do at Micropharma is we take a look at the gene population, but also the organism population in normal, healthy subjects. And then we take a look at different disease states, obesity, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, IBD, IBS, and then take a look for genetic differences. And we specifically focus on BSH, bile salt hydrolase, which is a gene which produces a protein called bile salt hydrolase and works in the gut through bile metabolism, which is a natural metabolic process that takes place in the gut and has downstream effects in LDL cholesterol, activation of TGR5, activation of FXR, absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, and also IBD and IBS. So our company is focused at the intersection of the microbiome right now and bile metabolism.
So you already launched a product looking at kind of cholesterol reduction. Now you're taking it further under the microbiome kind of brand. So talk us through that. What have you got?
Well, first of all, we needed to develop some better tools to understand and to work on the science of the microbiome. So we have a number of scientists working largely in silico, which is the new cool term for scientists that work on computers instead of in vivo and in vitro. They work in silico. And so they've developed a whole bunch of algorithms which look at gene populations and are able to use machine learning to decipher, to find genes of interest that are typically in deficiency or surplus. And we've also developed an electromechanical device, which is a pill that takes multi-samples of the gut. Because you can put an endoscope down this side, you can put a colonoscope up this side, but we found that there's a black box of completely missing information in the gut. So we developed a pill that can take multiple samples of the gut. So those are the tools that we started with understanding and trying to understand the microbiome better. And what we did was we found that not only was the science difficult to explain to mass market, but the messages were difficult as well. And so we've developed a new line of products that we're promoting in the United States now called Microbiome Plus.
Okay.
So it's affecting this gene deficiency, the BSH gene deficiency, in very specific disease states in the microbiome, but it's also providing gold standard, top of the market, top of quality, and full daily doses of dietary supplements that are really well used. So our bone product actually provides a full daily dose of very high quality calcium and vitamin D3, as well as providing BSH gene to the microbiome, which we've shown in 2 studies of 150 people to increase circulating 25-hydroxy-D by 25%, regardless of changes in UV or diet. Wow. So we have 3 of those products. We're launching them actually in the next 2 weeks. direct to healthcare practitioners in the United States. And at the same time, we're launching a lab test, which will, through fecal sample, be able to allow the physicians to be able to understand BSH gene copies in firmicutes and lactobacillus in the gut.
Okay, and why direct to healthcare practitioners for these products?
Again, those messages are difficult messages to give to mass markets.
Okay.
Number one, and number two is that the healthcare practitioner. There's a number of healthcare practitioners that we're approaching: naturopaths, nutritionists, registered dietitians, homeopaths, okay, osteopathic doctors, general practitioners, and gastroenterologists. And these doctors are involved in decisions of their patients to do with diet and exercise, and they're involved in decisions to do with pharmaceutical therapies and drugs. But what we found is that even though their patients are taking dietary supplements and they have major issues in bone health and heart health, which are solved really well with dietary supplements, they're not really educated, and they're not part of the process, the decision-making process, on bringing their patients the best quality dietary supplements. And the dietary supplement industry is plagued with poor communication of what the quality is, what the daily doses are, specific daily doses are, and what the potential outcomes are. And so by working with healthcare practitioners, we're hoping on doing something that their patients are already doing, but doing it at a higher level of quality, and in full daily doses is a better quality, and also the advantage of working with the science of the microbiome.
Fantastic, it's really interesting. Thanks very much for sharing all that with us.
Thanks very much, yeah. Thank you for the time.
Very welcome. Thanks very much. That was Nutra Ingredients USA. I'm Stephen Daniels.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you.